Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is CJ UFC Picks the Smoke Sesh here for another great breakdown. If you're new to the channel and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, smash that like button, share the video, like the video, and tell everyone you know about CJ UFC Picks. Here to give you fire picks, smoking on some fire weed, and let's just recap what happened last night on NOCHE UFC Fight Night, Shevchenko versus Grasso 2. I went 6-3-2 on my picks, 6 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws. The 2 draws were Chires. I had him by submission. I thought I won that bet. Unfortunately, the referee Chris Tagnoni, terrible, terrible call, terrible, terrible ref, and terrible, terrible stoppage by Chris Tagnoni, should definitely get retrained in submissions because he had me excited there. I thought I won my bet, and unfortunately, that bet or that call got reversed, and it went to a no contest. And then the main event was Grasso versus Shevchenko for the second time. And as we all know, that fight went into a draw. That fifth round was kind of controversial. One of the referees called it a 10-8 against Shevchenko, which was mind blowing. I don't think that any of one of those two fighters, Grasso or Shevchenko, had any 10-8 rounds. And still, my dog of the card was Alexa Grasso. And speaking of dog of the card and lock of the card, I post my dog of the card and my lock of the card each and every single week on my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So go check me out on those platforms. CJ UFC Picks. Give me a follow, give me a like, make sure to subscribe. And we're here to break down UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Gamrot on Saturday, September 23rd, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the prelims, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the main card. And as you guys already know, we got the blunt. We got it all rolled up just for you guys. We're going to start the smoke sesh really soon. Let's start up right now, actually. Let's light it up. You already know, folks. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to roll on up. Join me for the smoke sesh. Drop a comment. Drop a like. You already know. We got some wicked lime tonight. Some wicked lime. So make sure to roll your favorite weed up. And let's start off with the first fight of the night for UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Gamrot. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, first fight of the night. Scheduled in the women's bantamweight division, we have Montserrat Rendon versus Tamires Vidal. Montserrat Rendon, she's undefeated at 5-0. 34 years old, 5'8", 68-inch reach. Then we got Tamires Vidal. She's 7-1, 25 years old, 5'6", with a 50 or 66-inch reach. 68-inch reach, excuse me. Montserrat Rendon, she's fighting from Mexico. She should have been on last week's card on Noche UFC, last night's card. But she's making her UFC debut here against Tamires Vidal, who's sitting at minus 250 favorite. Rendon is sitting at plus 205 underdog. To me, Vidal is not that impressive in my opinion. I mean, she did have that KO TKO flying knee against Ramona Pascual, and um, she did. She's on a huge winning streak right now. Same for Montserrat Rendon. Um, I'm not betting this fight whatsoever because to me, both of these girls are low level. But I'm going with the undefeated Mexican here. Give me the underdog in this fight. Montserrat Rendon. I have a feeling she's going to come in here and she's going to show us that she's undefeated for a reason. And I think it's going to be a closer fight than the number says. I might be wrong. She might lose this fight. Do not take my word for this fight because I think both of these girls are lower level. And I also think that they're not UFC caliber, in my opinion. Plus, she's 34 years old, so like I said, I might be wrong. That might be a terrible pick. But I'm just going with my gut here. I'm going with my head. I'm going with my heart. Montserrat Rendon by decision to win this fight. Might be wrong, folks, so do not take my word for that. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, another lower level women's MMA fight here. We have in the women's strawweight division Mizuki Inoue versus Hannah Goldy. Mizuki Inoue, she's 14 and 6, 29 years old, 5'3", 64-inch reach, sitting at minus 250 favorite. Then we got Hannah Goldy. She's 6 and 3, 31 years old, 5'4", 61-inch reach, plus 205 underdog. Another wide line right there. Um, it's been 3 years since Mizuki Inoue has fought in the UFC. So she's had a 3-year layoff, and she lost her last fight against Amanda Lemos. But we all know Amanda Lemos is a killer. She didn't get knocked out though. She only lost to Lemos by decision, and then before that she had a couple wins. I'm going with another dog here, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta go with Hannah Goldy. She's been the more active fighter. She is probably has better striking, better power. Definitely has more UFC experience. She's been in the UFC for going on 4 years now, and like I said, Mizuki 3-year layoff. Not many fighters who take a long layoff like that come back and win the fight. So I gotta go with Hannah Goldie here. I think she wins, and should be a close fight. Once again, do not take my word for that because I'm not betting that fight whatsoever. Not whatsoever. But I'm taking Hannah Goldie as my pick by decision. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the heavyweight division, we got Jake Collier versus Mohammed Usman. Jake Collier, he's 13 and 9, 34 years old, 6'3", 78.5-inch reach, sitting at plus 145 underdog. Mohammed Usman, he's 9 and 2, 34 years old, 6'2", 79-inch reach, and this fight is probably not going the distance, folks. This is a heavyweight fight, so both of these men have power. But Jake Collier, he is on a 3-fight losing streak. The last time he won was against Chase Sherman almost 2 years ago. So he lost the last 4 out of his 5 fights. Huge, huge red flag, ladies and gentlemen. Mohammed Usman, he's had already 2 UFC fights already in his career, going on to his third right now. So the only thing he's given up is UFC experience. But I think he's going to win this fight. Jay Collier is not that good, ladies and gentlemen. I actually have a bet on Muhammad Usman in this fight. He is a part of my parlay and probably one of the most confident picks of this card is Muhammad Usman by knockout or TKO, probably in the first or second round. I don't see this fight going past the second round, not whatsoever. I think Usman is gonna destroy Collier. He's got better wrestling, better power, just more explosive, and his brother is a former UFC welterweight champion. You know, if you don't know who that is, then you don't watch UFC. Sorry to tell you. Look it up. But Muhammad Usman to win by knockout in this fight, and I cannot wait for that prop to come out because he's a minus 170 favorite right now. So I'm almost certain that that KO prop is gonna be plus money, and if it is, I am gonna max bet it absolutely. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's middleweight division. This should be a little bit of a sneaky banger, to be honest. I like this fight. I like both guys. Scheduled in the men's middleweight division, we got Jacob Malkoun versus Cody Brundage. Jacob Malkoun, he's 7-2, 28 years old, 5'9", 73-inch reach. Then we have Cody Brundage. He's 8-6, 29 years old, 6 foot even, 72-inch reach. Jacob Malkoun, he's a heavy favorite at minus 485 compared to Cody Brundage. He is a plus 360 underdog. He's a he's on a 3 fight losing streak, and I think it's gonna continue here. Unfortunately for him, I think he's gonna lose this fight. Jacob Malkoun is just much better everywhere and anywhere the fight goes, and really can't bet him straight up. Maybe throw him in your parlays if you're 100% confident. But I'm 100% confident. I think Jacob Malkoun wins this fight. Not sure how though. I'm trying to find how. Probably by submission or a decision. A really really clear decision, like dominant decision. So yeah, give me Jacob Malkoun to win this fight. And I think Cody Brundage is gonna probably get cut after this. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's welterweight division, we have Tim Means versus Andre Fialho. Tim Means, he is 32-15, 39 years old, 6'2", 75-inch reach, plus 165 underdog. Andre Fialho, 16-7, 29 years old, 6 foot even, 74-inch reach, sitting at minus 200 favorite. Both of these men are coming off a 3 fight losing streak. So you can say that both of these men are fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for their spot in the UFC. Tim Means has been in the UFC forever now. 32 wins, 15 losses. That's a really, really huge record right there. And he's got double digit losses, which I do not like. 15 losses on your record is a big no no in my book. He has been finished the last 2 out of his 3 fights. The last fight that he won was 2 years ago against Nicholas Dalby, which is not bad. Then the last 3 of Andre Fialho's fights were all by finish. He's got knocked out, TKO'd by Joaquin Buckley, by Muslim Salikov, and by Jake Matthews. His last win was against Cameron Van Camp, which he sucks. Cameron Van Camp is not in the UFC anymore. And then he also won against Miguel Baeza. Very interesting fight. Very close fight, in my opinion. This should be a fun little banger right here. Man, I'm not sure who to pick because I'm not 100% sure on any of these fighters in this fight. But I'm going with the younger, fresher fighter, Andre Fialho. I think Tim Means just had too many wars. He's been in a lot of bangers, a lot of fights, a lot of scraps, if you would say. And Fialho probably has more power, and faster. So give me Andre Fialho to win by knockout. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of bangers, this is going to be a banger right here, ladies and gentlemen. Scheduled in the men's bantamweight division, we have Miles Johns versus Dan Argueta. Miles Johns, he is 13 and 2, 29 years old, 5'7", 66-inch reach. Then we have Dan Argueta. He's 9 and 1, 30 years old, 5'7", 68-inch reach. Miles Johns plus 160 underdog. Dan Argueta, he's a minus 190 favorite. This is going to be a close fight. I don't care what the number says here. I like both of these fighters, but I like Miles Johns better in my opinion. He's got more experience. He's been in the UFC for longer, and he's got knockout power. And he's not that bad on the ground as well. He's not that bad on the ground. But I like Miles Johns in this fight. Give me the plus money. Give me the underdog. Give me Miles Johns to win this fight. Dan Argueta is a good fighter. Do not get me wrong. But like I said, I just like the experience factor in this fight. Miles Johns is younger, and he's definitely fought the tougher competition. Give me Miles Johns plus money all day. He might be my dog of the card, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you want to find out who my dog and lock of the card is, go over to Twitter, go over to TikTok and Instagram. CJUFCPicks. Follow me on there. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is on the main card, scheduled in the men's featherweight division. We have Charles Jourdain versus Ricardo Ramos. You already know, ladies and gentlemen. Blaze one up with us. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment on the video. You already know, CJUFC picks. Charles Jourdain, he's 14, 6 and 1, 27 years old, 5'9", with a 69-inch reach. Ricardo Ramos, 16 and 4, 28 years old, 5'9", 72-inch reach. This should be a scrap. A really good scrap right here, ladies and gentlemen. I expect this fight to be good. Very close fight in my opinion here. Any of these guys can come out with the victory, but in my opinion, Charles Jourdain is better than Ricardo Ramos. I like Charles Jourdain. He's a minus 135 favorite. Ricardo Ramos minus 115 underdog. Almost a pick'em. Very good fight. Very up and coming guys in the UFC. Both are about similar, in terms of rankings, in terms of records, in terms of how they fight. But I like Charles Jourdain better. I think he's gonna win this fight. Very close. I'm probably not gonna bet it though. I'm not 100% sure on Jourdain to bet his money line. I just can't. I have to be 100% sure, folks, to place my money on a bet, And I'm hoping that you guys too. Sometimes you gotta take risk, absolutely. But in this fight, I'm staying away money line wise. I might bet the under. I think it goes under. I really do. I think this fight, yeah. Who knows? It's gonna be a close fight. Might go to a decision, but Charles Jourdain is my pick to win that fight. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen. Now this is gonna be a banger. This is gonna be a really good fight right here. Sleeper fight for those folks that do not know these guys. We got Bryan Battle versus AJ Fletcher. Bryan Battle, he's 9 and 2, 29 years old, 6'1", 77-inch reach. Then we got AJ Fletcher, he's 10 and 2. 26 years old, 5'10", 67-inch reach. Bryan Battle, He is a minus 195 favorite. AJ Fletcher sitting at plus 165 underdog. Like I said, this is going to be a fun fight, a really good fight, and I don't expect this fight to go the distance. I really don't. Someone's going to get tapped out or someone's going to get knocked out. And I have a feeling that Bryan Battle is going to come out on top like the favorite that he is. I'm very, very certain, almost 100% sure Bryan Battle is going to win this fight. That dude is so underrated. He's very good for this division. He's a big dude for this division. 6'1", so he's got about a 3-inch height advantage with a 77-inch reach. 10 inches, 10 inches, folks, of a reach advantage. So he's got the height advantage, he's got the reach advantage, and he's probably got the power advantage as well. He can throw them, folks, and he's got submissions as well. So give me Bryan Battle inside the distance to win this fight by knockout, TKO, or by submission. I think he's gonna get it done. I'm pretty certain he might be my lock of the card. Actually, go check me out, folks. TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram, so you can look that up. You don't want to miss on that. The next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is a rematch scheduled in the women's strawweight division. We have Marina Rodriguez versus Michelle Waterson-Gomez. Marina Rodriguez, she's 6'15", 3-2, 36 years old, 5'6", 65-inch reach. Then we have Michelle Waterson-Gomez, the karate hottie, at 18 and 11, 37 years old, 5'3", 62-inch reach. Both of these girls are coming off a losing streak. Marina Rodriguez coming off a 2-fight losing streak. And then we have Michelle Waterson-Gomez coming off a 3-fight losing streak. Marina Rodriguez a minus 305 favorite. That's pretty damn wide. I think this fight is going to be closer than the number says. Michelle Waterson-Gomez a plus 245 underdog. So I do not blame anyone for taking her as your dog. I don't blame you for putting your money on Waterson, but keep in mind she has a 3-fight losing streak, and she already lost to Marina Rodriguez once, and I think it's going to happen again here in this fight. The last fight that Waterson-Gomez won was 3 years ago in a split decision victory against Angela Hill, and that fight could have gone either other way. So yeah, give me Marina Rodriguez. I think she's gonna win this fight by decision once again, and that's pretty much it. That's all I have on this fight. Pretty cut and dry. Marina Rodriguez is my pick. And the next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is the co-main event of the evening for UFC Fight Night. Fiziev versus Gamrot. This co-main event is going to be a banger. It's going to be a very good fight, very interesting fight. We got Bryce Mitchell versus Dan Ige in the men's featherweight division. Bryce Mitchell, he's 15 and 1, 28 years old, 5'10", 70-inch reach. Then we got Dan Ige, 17 and 6, 32 years old, 5'7", 71-inch reach. Bryce Mitchell was undefeated before his last fight. He did get knocked out by Ilia Topuria, he did get submitted, but Ilia Topuria, almost, and that was unfortunate, because I had Bryce Mitchell in that fight. But Dan Ige, he's been looking really good lately. He knocked out, TKO'd Damon Jackson, and then he had that decision victory against Nate the Train Landwehr. But before that, he was on a losing streak. He's still in his prime, but he is considered a veteran in the UFC. He's only 32 years old, so he's still in his prime, he still has a chance to quote unquote make it, you know. But Bryce Mitchell, 28 years old, very good wrestler, very good on the ground. He will fight for your money. He's a minus 160 favorite. Dan Ige, a plus 135 underdog. I think those numbers are fair. I think those numbers are good. My pick for this fight, I gotta go with Bryce Mitchell because if this fight goes to the ground, if Bryce Mitchell can get his wrestling and grappling going, he's gonna win this fight. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event of the evening for UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Gamrot. Before I do this breakdown, before I give you my pick, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video, share the video, comment on the video, folks. Help the algorithm out. CJUFC picks here each and every single week. With the smoke sesh, you already know. Light one up with me. Take a couple hits. It's good vibes around here. It's 420 all the time here at CJUFC Picks. This fight is scheduled in the men's lightweight division. We have Rafael Fiziev versus Mateusz Gamrot. Rafael Fiziev. He's 12 and 2. 30 years old, 5'8", 71.5-inch reach. Mateusz Gamrot, 22 and 2. 32 years old, 5'10", 70.5-inch reach. This is going to be a banger. This is going to be a very good fight. And I do not expect this fight to go the distance. I'm going to tell you right now, folks. Somebody's going to get finished. Knockout, TKO, or subbed. Mateusz Gamrot, plus 115 underdog. Rafael Fiziev, minus 140 favorite. I think this fight should be closer to a pick'em. Fiziev did have a really good fight against Justin Gaethje. Almost got him out of there, but then Gaethje just took over and dominated that fight. But Fiziev did take a beating. That was a war. I'm not gonna lie, that was a war. But Gamrot had some wars himself. He had a split decision against Jalen Turner. He lost against Beneil Dariush. Both of these guys are very good fighters. Very good. This is going to be a very exciting fight. Very tough to call. But I got to go with the favorite here. I got to go with Rafael Fiziev to bounce back from that loss against Justin Gaethje and win this fight. I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to take over. I think Gamrot is going to gas out trying to go for takedowns. And Fiziev is 100 times better on the feet than Gamrot is. Very good fight right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a banger. Honestly, whoever wins this fight deserves it. Because I like both of these fighters. These are very good fighters right here, folks. But give me Rafael Fiziev to bounce back and win this fight. He's going to win. That's my pick. And that was the breakdown, ladies and gentlemen, for CJUFC Picks. UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Gamrot. We're going to try to get you another 10 wins. Last week we only got you 6. But for the last 13 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, I have been in the positive. I have been in the green. I have been winning back to back to back to back weeks. And this week is going to be no different. I have a good feeling I'm going to get 10 W's for all of you. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to share us. And make sure to check us out on all of our platforms. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and right here on YouTube, CJUFC Picks. We got the smoke sesh going on right now. And we hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you enjoyed the breakdown. We're coming back next week, and we're out of here, folks. Take it easy.